Shalom, little friends. We continue learning about the holy appointments of Aviv, the first month of the biblical calendar. Let us remember that the calendar is agricultural, and it is the time of barley, and like all products, the first fruits must be delivered to the Eternal Father, the eternal order to bring the first of all the fruits of the earth, and at this time the fruit of the earth is barley. This must be delivered in the week when Pesach is already celebrated, and it must be the first day of the week after Pesach, a Yom Rishon. This order was put by the Eternal because from that day on, 7 whole weeks will be counted, that is, 7 days of rest to deliver the next scoop, which is wheat. Later, we will talk about that other festivity.
Yossi, the first day of the week is Sunday. How do you say it is said in Hebrew?
Pastor Wolf, the first day of the week is called Yom Rishon. Now we know it as Sunday. Even though the Levin system teaches that Sunday is the first day of the week, they have made it into the last day of the week, and have made it a day to rest to justify their day dedicated to the sun. This was in Daniel's prophecy, since the wicked one, who is someone without law, changed the times and the commandments of the Eternal, that is, the holy appointments and the Torah. Let us remember that the Hebrew days begin at sunset, not at midnight, as the calendar that the Levin system imposed. From evening to evening, it is a counted day.
Yossi, what does Bikurim mean?
Bikurim means first fruits.
First fruits? Did you say first fruits?
Pastor Wolf, stop thinking about materialistic things, about unjust riches, about oppressing the poor with false illusions of prosperity. Remember what Matthew chapter 6 verse 19 says, "Do not create treasures on earth, where moth and rust corrupt, and where thieves mine and steal." Yossi, I want to learn more about Bikurim. What does the Torah tell us about this holy appointment?
Sharón, it is good that the children want to learn about the Eternal's instruction that will make them grow as Yeshua's Talmidim. The Torah tells us,
The Eternal tells the people of Israel in Leviticus chapter 23 from verses 9 to 14 that when they enter the land on the first day of the week after the Shabbat, weekly, that is on the feast of Passover and unleavened bread, present its first fruit, before the Eternal.
Let us remember that when the Father orders the start of the first month, this is fixed with the new moon, and it was also the time when the first fruits of barley were harvested. In this way, it is indicated, let it be before the ears of barley are harvested.
Before the people of Israel would cut an ear of corn and eat it, or harvest barley, they had to raise a measure called omer.
An omer is a unit of measure, as we know measure in kilograms, ounces, pounds, etc. That is to say, they were a bunch of ears of barley. That is called the first. These were taken as an offering to the Eternal at the time of Passover.
The measure of omer was taken to the great minister because it was a special measure, and the great minister had to present the very first fruit so that all the other fruits and themselves will be accepted.
Nobody could eat a single grain until the first sheep were taken, and these were taken on the first day of the week after Pesach was celebrated. Just when they were going to close the weekly Shabbat, it was delivered to the sanctuary. These ears were the first fruit of all the fruit of the year that were delivered to the Eternal.
These first fruits are also known as Reshit. Bikurim in Hebrew is the word Reshid, which means the first in the time, place, order, or rank specifically of first fruit.
From there, then they could harvest the rest. This was an important day where the Israelites presented their first fruits to the ministers so that they would make their wave offering and thus sanctify the harvest.
Yossi, was Yeshua the first to rise from the dead?
Yes, Sharon. In this holy appointment, we also see Yeshua prophetically, and it was fulfilled when he rose to go to the Eternal Father before anyone.
Yossi, teach me more. I want to know this fulfilled mystery.
Let's pay attention and learn together. Yeshua is Bikurim.
The Bible teaches us that Bikurim also represents the Messiah. It means the resurrection of Yeshua when he was given as an offering and died at the hands of sinners. He was given to the Father in the day of the resurrection because it was the first fruit of the harvest.
Nobody could resurrect, but Yeshua resurrected first and ascended to the Father first, since he was the first to resurrect for eternal life, and who is also taken to the heavenly sanctuary, where he is accepted by the eternal Father as a measure of ear, which is the tip of a cereal plant such as wheat or maize.
Bikurim is fulfilled when Yeshua is taken from death to life on the day of the resurrection. Along with him, there was also a resurrection of those that died before Yeshua, with the promise of vivification through him. In the 1st of Corinthians chapter 15 verse 20 it says, "But now Messiah has been raised from the dead, the first fruits of those who have fallen asleep."
Yeshua resurrected just at the end of Shabbat, entering the first day of the week. Saturday night, he was the first fruit of all those who would rise. The first to be raised from the dead, he is our deliverer from death and prime minister.
Bikurim teaches us that we have been resurrected or vivified in Yeshua, given that we were dead spiritually. Satan has the power of death, which is the separation of life, the eternal. But Satan could not retain Yeshua.
We remember and celebrate Bikurim to remember the resurrection of Yeshua year after year.
Yossi, exalted be the Eternal for his fulfilled promise. He sent Yeshua to be the perfect Passover lamb. Yeshua lived as unleavened bread and is the first fruit pleasing before the Eternal.
Good, Sharón. In these holy appointments, we really see the Messiah, Yeshua, and how the redemption plan is perfect. We are happy to be able to return to the Creator by doing teshuvah and be vivified together with Him to a life in holiness and true service. So we too, purified in Him, the life of Egypt with its customs were left behind. Now we can come to be sealed in the new covenant, receiving the promise that came to the first sealed in the next holiday, the next holy date. Other first fruits that were offered counting from this day 7 complete weeks, so that the day after the 7th Shabbat, the 15th day, which in Greek is Pentecost, in the Feast of Weeks, or Shavuot, receive the presence of the Eternal, dwelling in them, the Spirit of holiness that makes them the first living stones of the temple that Yeshua raises, being Him the main stone. The guarantee that one day they would be transformed. They would be like angels, children of Elohim.
Yossi, so now we must count 7 complete weeks, 7 rests, to meet at the next holy appointment, which is a feast, the Feast of Weeks, Shavuot. On the 50th day we will congregate.
Yes, Sharón, we must continue living in consecration. Little friends, Hag Sameach Bikurim.
Help!
How to contact Cielos Nuevos Niños. Little friends, remember to visit the website of Cielos Nuevos y Tierra Nueva in the sección de Niños, or the section of Kids, www.cielosnuevosytierranueva.org, and download all of our free material. We have a WhatsApp and Telegram number, +52 33 28 24 91 85, where you can send us your photos and videos. You can also reach out to us on Facebook at Cielos Nuevos Niños. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Cielos Nuevos Niños, and let's continue learning about the Eternal's instruction.